Tell them to join up a little bit, huh? Well, I thought our kids battled. I mean, I think it was a pretty good game. We had them looking over their shoulder for the whole night. And so in regards to, our youth and gaining the experience of being in this league race, there were some pleasing things. I think if I were to single out, what I thought was the difference in the game, I thought Daryl Monroe was very good. His 14 rebounds, 14 points. Daryl's presence was a difference out there. And for me, I look back at some loose balls and a few rebounds. They out-rebounded us. I look at a couple of three-point shots that they made that I thought we had some pretty good looks ourselves. And you look at a game that's 2 or 3 or 4 baskets difference, and those things start to get magnified. But they've been very good at home, and to come in here and to have a chance to compete all night and maybe have a chance to make a run at the end was fun. But I'd give them credit. They did a nice job of certain things, and kind of got a little bit of a lead and kind of hung on to it for most of the night. A couple things that I was pleased with, to come in here, they kind of hang their head on defense and trapping and doing some things, and to only turn it over 8 times in the game, I thought gave us a chance to hang. And then to have 8 steals, they're pretty good with the basketball, quite a few nights, and to have only 8 turnovers and 8 steals, I thought allowed us to kind of hang in there and have a chance.
Coach, you all pulled within 1 at 32-31, then Mason goes on an 11-2 run, I believe, to get the lead back to 10. What changed for you all during that time period? Well,
during that stretch, we got Gerald Lee 2 or 3 touches and came up empty, and then Gerald Lee catches his 4th foul, shortly thereafter. So, we had a chance to maybe make a move with an all-league player, and he didn't quite get the plays made that maybe we had hoped. And then, of course, the foul trouble for Gerald kind of hampered us down the stretch a little bit. It's interesting. Guy gets his 4th foul that early, doesn't foul out of the game. So
right.
Go figure.
Having him pick up the early fouls, how much did that affect him defending Daryl?
Well, I think his ability to go after rebounds. I think his ability to really be aggressive offensively, being worried a little bit about some guys flopping or taking charges or whatever. And then, of course, play defense. If you look at the 4 fouls he had, a couple of them are ones that, you'd kind of look at and say, gosh, probably even the official wonders for sure. And so I'm not complaining at all about the officiating. I'm just saying the fact that, I take those 3 officials any night. But the fact that he got in foul trouble, the fact we got him in some point-blank positions 2 or 3 times and didn't come up with any production, all of a sudden 1-point lead goes into a little bit of a deficit, and all of a sudden we're chasing again.
Well, you guys got off to a slow start against Madison and tonight, but you seemed like you competed. You signaled your intention to compete. The first possession, you get 2 or 3 offensive rebounds. From that standpoint, the shots weren't falling, but did you feel good about the...
Well, yeah, we weren't giving the ball away. We weren't shooting bad shots. We really, I thought, were decent early in the game, but I thought we got some decent looks, and just, settling in front of a good crowd and a good opponent. We just, we had some guys that, got a pretty good look and just couldn't quite get the ball in the hole. And I guess you always got to give credit to the other team when I always hate it when we have press conferences and all of a sudden we just didn't make shots. Well, obviously the other team deserves credit for doing something, either if they're just yelling at you or doing the Jedi mind trick. I don't know, but you got to give them some credit if you don't make shots. But I do think you're right, Ed. I was pleased the first possession. We were really careful about what we did, trying to give our guys a chance to get comfortable, and then we got on the glass. Thought we were competing pretty well. They didn't really score a lot early. It's just they scored more than us and got a little bit of a lead, and then all of a sudden we were basically in for an all-night chase and battle.
With how strong both of these teams are defensively, being 1-2 in the conference and points per game given up, what do you think was going to be the most important thing for y'all to do to win the game?
Well, here at their place, I thought controlling the pace just a little bit, making sure we didn't give the ball to them to fuel their offense. That was important. So the 8 turnovers I thought was maybe the most significant thing we did. They're real balanced. So you don't just guard one guy, and you've got an all-night job trying to cover numerous guys, and they little up and down from three, but they made some threes early and some threes in the second half that were somewhat pivotal in the game.
With Coach Sonegg being able to run basically two sets of forwards with Daryl Monroe, Birdsong, and then Morrison and Pearson, what kind of problems did that cause you?
Well, trying to look at their minutes. Daryl, Dre, Cam, those guys all played 30 plus. Pearson is really just almost like a half of a starter. Him and Birdsong both plays 22. So that Morrison plays 9. I think their front line, basically I look at them as playing 7 guys. I see Cornelius as their next perimeter player and Pearson as their next post player. And then when Jim elects to go past that to Tate or Morrison, it's kind of spot duty. So they have that third post. Right now, we're struggling just a little bit in that Frank Cassell played quite a bit for us last year and is just really, really struggling even in practice. And so I went with Cooper quite a bit tonight, and I was pleased with Cooper's performance, allowed us to compete. And then Kent Bazemore has had some pretty good outings for us. And so we've got young guys that are kind of up and down, and when they're down, we got to give somebody else a chance to, go to the ice cream stand and order up.
Coach,
you talked about Cooper from when you first got him to where he is now. Where is he? Has he made strides, and where does he need to go yet?
Well, Chris, didn't play last year, and it's very evident when we watch, his rhythm and a little bit of rust, and then adjustment to Division I basketball. And he's got a really bright future. He's was sick. On Monday, we played at William and Mary. He was sick. I didn't play him at all. But we've had times where he's had some duty, and particularly when we've got somebody else who's not quite as effective at this moment. Said, hey, let's give him a shot. And so that's kind of what happened. And we gave him a shot, and we were more productive defensively and on the glass and physically when he was out there. So started mixing him in. Both Keon and Gerald had foul trouble. And so we needed another post. And John Adams sometimes plays the post position, but we elected to use him on the perimeter more, which brought Chris into play more. So, he did a really good job in school the first semester. He's adjusting to Division I basketball, and I couldn't be more pleased with the future that he has.
Coach, you mentioned the shooting woes for you guys. Was there something, and you mentioned Mason's defense, was there something particular that you could pick out that they were doing, or is there one particular thing that they were doing? Were they contesting shots better than normal?
Well, they shoot up the line pretty good. I think you look at, I can remember 2 or 3 shots that they shot from 3 up off the line, so maybe they weren't contested quite as much, but they were deeper. The shots we got, Darius James made some really big shots for us this year, and he got some pretty good looks in that one stretch where we talked about Gerald getting some touches and him getting some looks. I can't sit here and say that we didn't get shots or they took a lot of times when you compliment somebody on the defense, you say, man, we just couldn't get shot, or they just stole the ball from us and took us out of our place. That we really weren't taken out of plays. We weren't taken out of control of the basketball. We were able to get shots. Didn't have a lot of turnovers. So, they to the victor goes the spoils, and give them all the compliments in the world. But I thought we had a pretty effective offensive plan to give us a chance to succeed. We would have needed to make some more of those shots you're alluding to. Thanks, everybody.